What is going on, beautiful people? I hope you're doing really well here. Sadek Rahman here. I hope you've had an amazing day today. So I'm going to shoot a quick video, and I haven't had a great deal of sleep in the last few days because of work, and so I'm going to take it a bit easy today. So I'm going to shoot a video just whilst I'm lying here in bed, and I was thinking about what can I shoot for you guys today, and the topic that's come up in my head is how your childhood upbringing messing up your adulthood life. And this is a big topic that I've been looking into and studying about people. I've had a lot of people who I've worked with, a lot of friends who've had really messed up childhood. And here's the thing, you may not even had a messed up childhood, you might not even have trauma or anything of the sort. However, there might have been certain things that your parents might have said to you, talked down to you, and those words, those things that they've said, or how they might have dealt with you, might have had a real severe impact on your mental health and the way you think and believe of yourself. So this video is just as applicable to you than it is to someone who has a trauma or anything of the sort. And I want to go through a few of these examples and how it's affected them, and how you might actually fit into that category, and then how we can use those experiences that we've had and move forward with our lives. Because I know how hard it can be. Although I can't fully understand because I'm not you, and every single person experiences different things. However, I'd like to give a brief perspective as to what I think, and of course I would like you to go out and see what you think and take it with a pinch of salt, of course. Try it, test it, and see how it works for you. So there's a few people that I've worked with. There was a girl that I was working with about 10 years ago in banking, and she had a really abusive childhood. Her parents were very verbally abusive. Her parents basically divorced, and her mother has basically been very verbally abusive, has fallen out with her mother. And when I would work with this colleague, she'd always tell me about how she didn't like the boyfriend that she was with at the time, because he was very almost like possessive, if that's the right word, and she needed to back away from it. And I always noticed that she'd always have another boyfriend and then another boyfriend, and there's always this reoccurring theme that happened. And by the way, if you're watching this, I fully respect you and I love you for who you are. And she'd always have these problems, and I was looking into this. And it's all about childhood trauma and how it can really mess us up. And I seen this person coming into work, and she'd always feel anxious, and she'd always put up a front. You know, she'd tell everyone that she's fine, but in reality, in the inside, she was really broken inside. And she'd always kind of disguise it and camouflage it, like as if she was feeling well when she wasn't. And it really affected her. And that's just one example. Another example of someone that I know is, I was working one time with this colleague, and basically someone complimented me, and this other person put me down. And I basically confronted this person, and I said to them, you know, I didn't like what you just said there. I thought that was very disrespectful. You belittled me in front of everyone. But what I realized was that this person as well had a very abusive childhood. And those are just two examples that I can tell you of people who've had childhood trauma, and it's affected them in their own adulthood life. Those are just two examples. And then I know of someone else who didn't have a father. And this is a friend that I know, a friend of a friend, who didn't have a father. And because of the father not being there, and his father left him when he was, or passed away I should say, when he was 8 years old. And so his brother then had to step it up, who was like another 15 years older than him, and basically had to take the place of being a father. And what I noticed with this person was addicted to video games. You know, he was addicted to video games, and his life was basically video games, going to a job, a mundane job, and then food. And those were all the things that they would do, is work, video games, and food. And every time any sort of thing happened, any sort of trouble or challenge that happened, he would just basically just going one ear out the other. And I've just noticed, and there's so many other cases that I've known, that people have had some really bad childhood experiences, and they've taken those experiences with them and has conditioned them, and they've become subject to their own past, and they can't overcome it. And all I can say to you is this, is that I have full respect for you, and I really love you for the fact that you've had to go through these really challenging times, and I don't blame you for whatever reason. I do not blame you for what's happened. I don't blame you for the fact that you've had these conditioning, these thoughts, these feelings, these really strong feelings. I don't blame you for them, and I love you and I respect you for the fact that you've gone through these, and not many other people have gone through that. What I would like to say, however, is that I believe that life happens for us, not to us. Yeah? And it has to come to a point where you have to take personal responsibility for your own life. And if you keep blaming other people for what's happened in the past, these people might not be a part of your life right now. And if you keep blaming, then it takes the power away from you. It means that you are powerless. It means that you can't do anything. What I'm here to tell you is that if you're really interested in developing yourself and working on yourself, that you have to take that responsibility. And yes, you might have had some dysfunctional behaviour, and you might have had something that's happened in your adulthood because of the things that's happened in your childhood. And so you have to kind of take it upon yourself and say, right, you know what, I've had some really bad stuff happening to me in my own life. But then trying to take some kind of responsibility, and you've got to think of, right, what can I do to work on myself? I can't change what's happened to me. I really can't. But what can I do right now to work on myself so I can grow? Because your relationships might be affected right now. You might be in a relationship with someone else. Your relationship with your friends are affected. And you've got to really take that personal responsibility, because otherwise you'll never be able to move on. You'll always have something holding you back. You might have what's called self-sabotage, and you might have some really deep traumatic wounds, and I don't discount that at all, and that's fine. What I would like to say to you is that you want to take some kind of positive action in the right direction. So it might be that you might consider having a therapist or a counsellor or someone who you can discuss, because there might be certain things about you where you try to understand, why is it I do this thing? Why is it I do that? Why do I do this? I don't get it. It's causing me so much pain. So if it is, then you might want to take that step and try and get some counselling, try and get a therapist, and really talk over things that have happened in your past. And what you'll notice is that you'll start to unveil things that you've forgotten about. And that's really, really important, that you find the pieces of information that have been so buried in your subconscious that you've totally forgot about it, and you want to try and basically unveil what's happened, so you can start to basically put the pieces together in your own life and start to gradually move forward. And it's not a race. It's you do this according to your own pace, right? And you keep doing this, and you keep working yourself. You get yourself a counsellor, a therapist, and you start to talk over the things that's happened. And once you do that, it's going to feel painful. You're going to feel some really strong discomfort. There's going to be times where you're going to be bawling with tears. There's going to be time where you're just going to feel like really, really negative. But this is where the healing starts to come into place, right? Because I'm telling you now is that the consequence is that if you don't do it, you will affect your future. You'll affect your future and where you want to go. And so you have to basically bring these into your conscious so you can start to work on these things. And I'm not saying that having a therapist is the be-all and end-all of all problems. I'm not saying that at all. However, what you can do is take this information and really start to work on yourself. So maybe you might want to go onto YouTube, or you want to read into these personality traits that you've got, really study yourself and work out what's going on here, and really try and understand you. There's a saying that goes, know thyself, and this is what the Greeks have been so famous for saying. And I take it on you to really take these lessons, these things, and really study yourself and work hard in yourself. Do everything you can, and it's going to help. And there's other things that you could be doing, and I've mentioned this time and time again: meditation, praying. These are really good therapeutic tools that you can really help to calm yourself and to look forward and look past those things. There's a person that I knew from school who had drug addictions, alcohol addiction, and that was all from as a result from trauma. And basically they took what's called like plant medicine. I think it was called, I can't remember what it's called, psilocybin. Anyway, they've taken this plant medicine and they just feel so much more better in their recovery. And I'm not necessarily saying this is right or wrong for you. It's just something that someone that I know of that helped with their recovery. By no means am I a medical profession, so you might want to get medical advice and do your own diligent research. It's not going to be an easy ride. It could be going on for months and even years, but you have to be willing to do this. Because what you have to understand is this, and this is what someone that I know of told me. He goes by the name of Jamie Denyer, and he told me, you're going through all the stuff that you've been through so you can be someone else's survival kit. Think about that. So if you can work on yourself and if you can learn how to deal with the things that you're going through, you essentially could help someone else, and you could be a life changer. Your skills, your experiences, and everything that you learn could really help transform someone else's life. So you have to learn to do the inner work. What I will tell you is this, and this is a really positive thing. I have a client of mine, a former client of mine, and if you're all listening to this, I love you and I respect you. He basically was he was going through some issues of he was always freaked out. He's telling me that he had trouble trying to find the right people. And every time he was trying to find the right person in his life, they would always basically be freaked out by him. And what he noticed was that he basically, and what I respect about him is what he basically invested in himself. So he got lots of counselling, lots of therapy. And what he noticed is that the reason why he was always, because he basically, whenever anyone touched him, any sort of way, when it was, basically someone putting a shoulder on his hand on his shoulder, he would always freak out. Why are you touching me for? And what he realized was that the reason why he was doing that is because when he had the therapy, was that he never had any love and affection from his own parents at all. So whenever he had any kind of love or affection from anyone close to him, he would freak out. And what this person did, and I respect this person so much, he worked so hard on himself, and he didn't just get counselling, he got a lot of spiritual mentors, he was into his faith as well, and he did everything. He did meditation, he did so much stuff, and he did so much self-work, and as a result he was able to find the right person in his life. And I'm so happy and I'm so proud of him. And you too could be the hero of your own story if you learn to invest in yourself. So my takeaway for you is for you to have personal responsibility, invest in yourself, work on yourself, and it's going to be a long and challenging time, but you'll see the fruits of your own labor. So I hope this video has benefited you. If you have, then please like this video, please subscribe to my channel. And it's a bit of a different video from all my other videos, but I hope you've enjoyed this. Until then, have a great day, and I will speak to you soon. Take care, my friend. Bye.